Hi, and welcome to the Growing as a Family podcast. My name is Joel.
And I'm Clarice.
And today we have exciting news to share with you. We are expecting.
Oh.
Both.
We're pregnant, and we didn't plan that. Well, we planned the pregnancy.
Well, I'm not pregnant, so if I said we're pregnant, I'm
Yeah.
not pregnant, so we're expecting.
Sure.
Either way, we're expecting another child.
Yes.
Due in the spring.
Yep.
So that is exciting. We have a few months to plan, prepare for them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you nervous?
I love these interview styles. Are you nervous?
I am a little bit.
I feel like we've been keeping this down, on the down low.
We have.
At least from our little community on here. But yeah, I'm into the second trimester, which is fun. Feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I will say it's a lot different than my pregnancy with our first daughter, which, it's been good, but it's also, confusing.
Right, yeah.
And it's crazy to see how different it can be and to not really know what to expect. Your body can react differently every time, and I don't know if it's because it's a different gender, because it's just a different time of life, but yeah.
A little backstory, we're not finding out the gender.
Mm-hmm.
We probably won't find out any of the gender of our kids before they arrive.
Mm-hmm.
All in God's timing. God has given us this little baby, and whether it is a little boy or a little girl, we are blessed to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our stance on it, why we don't like to find out. And it's a great surprise.
Yeah.
So
really gives you the motivation to get through that day or however long of labor.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's wow, I'm going to find out what I'm going to have.
And the Lord hopefully will graciously give us a big family. So, sooner or later, we got to have both genders, right?
You don't know that. There's
that
families
is true.
of a dozen girls or a dozen boys.
Lord, help me.
I want Joel to be outnumbered by the ladies.
I already am outnumbered by the ladies.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I feel like it's kind of been a whole story that's unfolded.
Yeah.
And I think we're sharing about that story in this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to remember exact dates, but
this summer. Yes,
our daughter was 7 months old, and we were feeling pretty good. We were enjoying. We've always enjoyed having her, but
we have,
and we've always wanted a big family. So we were it could be cool to get pregnant again. So, we ended up finding out we were pregnant in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the beginning of June, and we found out, and we were super excited, and it just kind of felt right. This is God's plan for us. We're right in the middle of it. We have all these good desires for a big family. It's just going to go smoothly with it did with our daughter.
Yeah.
And then God had other plans.
God did have other plans.
And it's been a learning curve. But around the 4th of July, we found out that we had a miscarriage.
Yeah.
So, and I guess I found it out. It wasn't a doctor found out or whatever. I just began to have a lot of pain and cramping and bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my midwife came to the conclusion that I was experiencing a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm. At 7 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was 6 weeks. Well, we only knew for a week and a half or 2 weeks, but, long enough to get excited, to really, concrete in your brain, we're having a baby, and, nothing's gonna change that. And so we were really excited, so it was really devastating.
Yeah, it was.
And it just felt like I couldn't do anything about it, my body was just
not ready or something.
Yeah, God knew that little baby needed to go home and be with him, and it was it was hard to experience. But I'd say like the pain lasted for like 10 days, and
Yeah.
it was really hard to be reminded like every day, like that we lost a baby. Reminded like physically, but
Yeah, it almost felt like a slap in the face because we're so family oriented. Like the thought of bringing another child into our family, we're like, this is awesome, this is amazing. And like you mentioned, we had only known for roughly like 2 weeks, and so, but we were already excited. We were already thinking like, oh my, we're gonna have two. Like, what does this mean? And so we got really excited. And
rightfully so.
Right, yeah.
You should always, rejoice in finding out you're pregnant with another blessing from God. But, it never, like, we didn't have a hard fertility journey or trying to conceive journey. So I think that, I don't know God's mind and what he's trying to teach me. You usually find that out later in life, looking back. But yeah, then it felt just like, God, what's your plan? Like, I feel like my desires were in line with, what God's, like, what he deems as good, like.
Right, yeah.
He honors and blesses big families, and I was like, that's what we're going for. And
right, almost like what is he trying to teach us here, and what's and that, I think for like now looking back on that, because that was this past summer, realizing a little bit about ourselves, how I would say selfish and haughty we were, and we needed to be humbled because we were like, oh, we're so family oriented. Yeah, this is amazing. We're going to have another kid. We're just going to keep going and going and going. And the Lord was like, hey, I'm still in control. Like, I have the power to give you children and take away children. And it was being humbled for those, when we were in sorrow for, a week and a half. I remember having conversations about that of like, wow, I feel really humbled right now. Like, it's a terrible feeling, but the Lord is working in our hearts.
Yeah. I feel like something that always helps me, like when I'm going through a rough patch, is to think like, what's God's plan in this? Because it's comforting to know that God's in control, and he does want the best plan for like his children's lives, and so trusting that he was using this experience even to grow us and to make us rely on him more. And it was a really sad time. I just really missed like having like the thought of having a baby inside of me. But I agree, we were really like humbled in that.
Like Clarice mentioned earlier, we never really struggled with fertility, or we don't really have like we were trying for months and months and months, and like we have had the blessing of getting pregnant almost right away every time that we have tried, and so that's been like a huge blessing. And so for me personally, I was getting a little like prideful in that of like, wow, this is something that we just do well, and not.
Well, it makes you think it's all in your timing,
right? Like, it is.
Oh, we're ready to have another kid. Like, it's gonna work out how it worked out last time, and that's not true. Like, every time you need to be, and we were, but like you need to really surrender that to God and pray about like, God, the desires of our heart are to have another baby. Like, we're fully depending on you for that, and not on ourselves.
Right.
I feel like our culture is very dependent on like their own plan and making their own way, and they forget that God establishes the path that
he does.
You walk on, and he's in control, and not just getting like really down and mad about that, but trying to see what God's plan in that is.
Which can be hard sometimes.
Yeah. And it was hard during that season because as I was having a miscarriage, my thoughts were like, well, I just want to get pregnant again. Like, I wanted like our kids really close in age, And so it's like, in my mind, it was slowing down, like, my plan. Like,
right.
Oh, now my kids are going to be who knows how far apart in age. And it's kind of, silly looking back. But
yeah.
So, but we were, I healed. I wasn't far along in my pregnancy. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what the healing journey would look like internally. But I was like, well, if it's God's plan, we'll get pregnant again. So,
yeah.
And we did.
We did, yeah. And that's like the cool redemptive part mm-hmm. of that is Amen. We went through a miscarriage and it was so devastating. But then right away, that, very next month, Clarice comes to me and goes, hey, you can tell the story because it's a cool story.
Yeah, it's hard with the dates now, thinking back. But there was I didn't know when to expect my cycle to return.
Right.
After experiencing a miscarriage. I heard it can be anywhere from returning right away to months. Who knows how your body responds mm-hmm. to that loss. But so we just kind of left that into God's hands. It wasn't I'm my cycle's back. Mm-hmm. We're gonna try and get pregnant. It was just I guess we'll see what happens. So I was kind of waiting for my period to return, and it wasn't. And so after that was a couple days late. I was like, well, there's a chance mm-hmm. I could be pregnant and just not know it. Mm-hmm. So I took one of those little tests where the lines appear, and it really looked negative to me. Mm-hmm. But I obsessively checked. Hoping a line would develop over a day, even though it's supposed to take 5 minutes. Yep. But I checked again later that day, and I was like, whoa, I think there's the faintest line there. And I was like, am I out of my mind? So mm-hmm. I showed Joel, and he was like, I don't think there's anything there. But I told him I was going to try again, mm-hmm. another test. So a couple days later, I took another one of the same ones, and the line was a little darker. Maybe. Could still be in my head.
You took it 2 days later. How much darker do you think it would have been?
Know. I had a really light pregnancy test, though, with our daughter.
Yeah,
I was pregnant. True. So I was like, I feel like there's a chance. I was really getting my hopes up, but I didn't know if it was still high hormone levels from the previous pregnancy that I had a miscarriage, or I didn't know if I'd even had a cycle. I was right. I don't know if this is detecting correctly.
Right.
But we went and bought one of the real deals. Yeah. the digital one.
That actually says it.
It says pregnant or not pregnant. And I took that again 2 days later. Yeah. And it said pregnant. And so I didn't believe it for a long time. We got right in contact with the midwives. Mm-hmm. And my main midwife, she was really excited, hopeful that we'd have another baby, and hopeful for this pregnancy. And mm-hmm. so we got all set up with that. And then I feel at the first appointment when we heard the heartbeat is when I was like, wow. Yeah. It's because you're not really growing mm-hmm. much. It just looks like you ate a lot or something. So I was like, I don't know still. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just progressed since. Mm-hmm. I'm getting bigger, and I believe it.
Yep, now you're definitely pregnant.
Yeah. And I feel one of the coolest things was realizing that we wouldn't have gotten this baby if we hadn't experienced the loss of the other baby.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I still think about that little baby a lot.
Yeah.
But this one is such a blessing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
You gotta take over.
During when Clarice was taking the pregnancy tests, I was like, let's just wait 2 weeks. It's not going to change the outcome, right? And she's like, no, I can't. Because it was such a cool redemptive part of just having a miscarriage, and then trusting God of like, well, we don't know what's going to happen with your body or what he's got going on, but like we're just going to do our part. And, we were super excited to see that. And, I remember coming home from work the one day and you're like, okay, hear me out. There's not much of a line, but really look at it because I think there's a line. And I was like, yeah, kind of. I mean, sure. Yeah. I'm not going to call you crazy. No, it was really cool to, see the digital one that said pregnant. Yeah. And I feel like both of us kind of looked at each other and were like, wow, like, God can work in many ways that we don't see, at the start. And so, yeah, it just was really cool to experience that. And
yeah. I don't know if you've like experienced the same level of like fear or worry that I have like this pregnancy. But I feel like I had fear even like after the miscarriage of like, will I get pregnant again? Will I be able to hold another baby? Will I have another miscarriage? Like just, horror stories kind of playing in your mind and just not knowing what the future held, but trying to like trust God in the unknown. And so, but I feel like when I found out I was pregnant, like my reaction was I was so excited, but then I was like a little, nervous. Like, but I shouldn't get too excited.
Right.
Because I don't want to, pour my heart into it again and be disappointed.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you want to rejoice at every baby. And I did rejoice and I did get my hopes up again.
Yeah, we did.
But there's been like, I think, fear and worry in this pregnancy like I didn't have with my first.
Sure.
I was just so naive the first time. Yeah. And I mean, there was things where I was like, am I supposed to be feeling this way? Like, what's this pain? And we worked through that stuff. But this time around, it's been like, oh, like I have a little cramp. Like, is that normal? Right. Or just a lot of second guessing every symptom, trying to look for symptoms. Like, it's just been kind of a mental roller coaster. But yeah, God's been faithful throughout and giving me the signs, that everything's okay and calming me down.
I feel like this pregnancy has gone faster in my mind because I think our daughter just takes time and we're not really thinking about this new baby because it's not here yet. Not like our first daughter where she's here and she's needy. And so, but in the flip side of it, you're like, okay, I didn't feel this last pregnancy, or this is something that's new, like, going back to your worry. And I think that it's something that is good because if we're not worrying, it means we, don't care.
Well, worry's not good. If you're not nervous. Yeah. You're saying is always if you're not nervous that you don't care. But worrying is like a sin, God says do not worry about anything. Pray about everything.
Right.
And you help me in that a lot of just like, hey, we're not gonna worry, we're gonna take it day by day and just encouraging me in that way.
Well, worrying doesn't add a day to your life. If you worry about something, you're not changing the outcome of it. You're not doing anything to prevent or help things along. You're just kind of sitting there like, oh no, what if?
Yeah. And what's the verse? Like, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough.
Yeah.
Of worry of its own or something.
Yeah.
But
you don't know what tomorrow will bring either. So even like worrying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel like one of the things that we've been talking about recently is like family size. And with this miscarriage, like what will be our family size and what is God going to bless us with, and leaving that up to him instead of getting in our own heads and of like, oh, this is, I want 4 kids, I want 5 kids, and really trusting him with all of that and not being selfish, I guess, in a way, Which had a really good conversation with my brother about that because they recently had that epiphany of like leaving it up to God for their family, and they haven't started their family yet, but they had their like mindset on like a number of kids, but then they really were convicted from the Lord of like, hey, that's not the right mentality to have, and so they shared a little bit of their story with us, and that was really enlightening to Clarice and I, and we had already been thinking about that earlier, but just having
it's encouraging,
right, having us, hear it again, it was really cool to hear.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I'm learning more and more because I like having our daughter. I'm like, okay, if like, if I can't have any more kids, like I got a daughter, and now I have this one, and I'm like, wow, like now I'm gonna have two, and just being grateful for every single one that comes along, and leaving the rest up to God because He could choose to continue blessing us with more kids, or to be like, hey, you got your two, and that's what you're gonna get. And I think that leaving that up to God is just so like precious, and yeah, it just helps you continue to trust Him because it's such a big area of life and marriage. And I mean, it's something I think that has like the most meaning in your life is raising up your kids to know the Lord and to leave a generation behind you and build that generational wealth,
Well, and kids are the only thing that are eternal. So like having that aspect, that thought on your mind of just like, wow, this is the only thing that I'm truly leaving behind. And that was...
Yeah, it's a chance to have like an impact and to, you can have an impact on other people's lives around you and your circle of friends or neighbors, but, you'll never get to, minister and lead them as much as you can inside your own walls with your own kids who are looking to you for everything. And, they want to grow up to be like you, and they look up to you, and they follow in the path that you have set for like your family. And yeah, it's so cool. And I keep thinking like I want to grow as a Christian. And the thing that's helped me grow the most has been marriage and then having a baby.
Yes, indeed. Oh my.
And then, pregnancies and the miscarriage. There's just so much like growth in my spiritual walk with God. And I'm like, wow, like there's no better way to grow and to really like lay your life down and learn love, like what love is, and self-sacrifice for the sake of another. That's what our pastor said. And I feel like there's no better way to learn that in my case
than like having kids.
Having kids and raising them up. And I don't know, I try not to let that scare me or discourage me because I know that would be, God wants me to grow in those ways. And even in the hard days with my one daughter, I'm like, well, this is preparing me for the future. Like, well, hopefully way in the future we'll have a lot more kids, and I'll be like, wow, I was so selfish with one kid. Like, that was so easy back then. But yeah, God's going to grow me, and God knows what we can handle. And,
amen. Yeah.
And if we can't handle it, He can.
Right, that's right. And He'll give us the tools to handle it.
Yeah. So. And I feel like you are just such a great dad.
I'm still working on it. But, yeah.
But I can just like I really hope, God is seeing what I'm envisioning, because I just think like you just have like the capabilities of being a dad to like many and spreading your love and just making every kid feel like they're so known and loved and like you're their hero. I don't know. Thanks,
honey.
Yeah, I really love who I married, and who my kids will have as a father. But
I could say the same thing about you, though. I can see you being like a great mother to a ton of kids, and you run the house so well with one, and you're like, I actually have a lot of free time with one. I'm like, what about two? But I know that you'll be able to handle it, and you just have a great growing mentality where I know that you'll be able to, with the help of the Lord, of course.
I don't feel like we've ever struggled with like bickering about family size. I know like in the very beginning you were like, we should have a kid right away.
Yeah.
Honeymoon baby. And I was, so stubborn. We waited like 2 months or something. But
yeah, we waited so long.
It wasn't like this misalignment. Like it's never been a fight of like, and I know a lot of couples go through that. Usually like a lot of times the girl is like, I want a lot of kids, and the guy's like, no, it costs money, takes time, and it can be vice versa, but you've always like, I feel like we've always been right on board and encouraging each other, and that makes it, easier knowing like when we have another baby, it's not like, oh, I really wanted this baby and you were kind of like, eh. So now it feels like it's more on me to like, make it well and make it go smoothly, but we really just both take on like.
Yeah. Well, I have this thought too of like, kids are not her thing. Kids are our thing. We wanted to have a family together, so we're going to do this together. And it's never put on one person. Yes, she stays home with our daughter and our kids more than I will, but when I'm home, it's not like, oh, hey, you wanted to have kids, so like you do this or you go change the diapers. It's always been like, family is our thing. We are a family together, so we're going to do everything together. And that's something that I think has made having kids easier, and will make having more kids easier, I hope.
And just so joyful. Like, it's, I feel like we spread everything, not even like evenly, because we don't try to be even in things, but you help me not feel like worn down.
Right.
And
we got our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, God definitely has us where he wants us.
That's true. That's very true.
But yeah, it's encouraging how much you help and like give and lay down your life for me and our daughter, and that makes me feel like I can do it. I can have more kids. And
well, we're both so excited for kids and for growing our family. I think that going off of what you said about joy, it fuels our ambition to have a big family. So, and then it makes it easy.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I know people take a lot of joy in their kids, and I'm excited to, there's going to be a tough season having them like pretty close together. Our kiddos will be 18 months apart. But so I know there's going to be tough times, but I also know that the fruit is going to be so evident as they get older.
Yeah.
And, you're not in the same season forever.
Right.
And I've learned that just having one and thinking that she's going to be a newborn forever. She's really not. Like, they just grow up so fast.
They do.
As everyone says.
I can't believe that she's already a year. Over a year. But
yeah, it's sweet time. It's sweet to have, our little one during the holidays and another little one on the way, and just gonna have a restful winter before spring comes. We had a fall baby, so now we'll have a spring baby, and I think that'll be really sweet. So.
It will be.
Yeah, but we wanted to share that little story because I feel like we're gonna have a lot. Like, that's a example that'll come up a lot in future conversations. So we didn't want to leave you all in the dark.
We didn't.
But yeah.
Go to growingasafamily.com to check out Clarissa's blog because it's amazing and she posts pretty regularly and I really love them. And please go read her great words of wisdom.
Wow, that's like a plea. Please.
If you want to, but I recommend it highly.
Thank you.
thank you for listening to our podcast. And sorry we haven't uploaded in a while, but we're working on that. We've had some technical difficulties that we're working out. We're trying to bring you guys halfway decent podcasts. So, thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you next podcast. Bye.
Bye.